Have you ever looked at someone and wondered, why do things just fall into place for them? The right job, the right moment, the right connection. It's as if life itself bends to clear their path. You tell yourself, they're just lucky. But what if I told you luck has very little to do with chance and everything to do with state of mind? Most people live like passengers, waiting for something good to happen, blaming fate when it doesn't. But those we call lucky aren't waiting. They're driving. Their minds are calibrated differently, fine-tuned to notice doors half open that others walk past without seeing. It's not magic. It's awareness, built from a mindset that quietly whispers, something good is coming. I just have to be ready for it. When a so-called lucky person walks into a room, they don't search for problems. They search for possibilities. Their posture, their tone, their curiosity. Everything about them radiates openness. And the world, in response, opens back. Meanwhile, most people move through life closed off, guarded by fear, distracted by noise, controlled by routine. They're not unlucky. They're just blind to the silent opportunities surrounding them every single day. The Sigma mindset understands this truth deeply. Luck isn't found, it's noticed. It's not that lucky people are chosen by chance. It's that they've trained their minds to recognize patterns, to connect dots faster, to stay calm when others panic. They see opportunity in chaos, advantage in uncertainty, lessons in failure. That's why when they stumble, they don't curse their fate. They adjust their strategy. When they lose, they don't retreat, they observe. And when they win, they don't call it luck, they call it alignment. Because to them, life isn't about fortune, it's about focus. They understand one golden rule. Your external luck mirrors your internal clarity. If your thoughts are scattered, so will be your chances. But if your focus is razor sharp, you start attracting events that seem too perfect to be coincidence. But here's where it gets fascinating. Your brain is already designed to spot these chances. It's constantly scanning for patterns, signs, and cues that could change your life. The problem? You've never learned how to see through your own filters. In the next part, we'll uncover how your mind silently creates and sometimes blocks the very opportunities that determine your destiny. How the brain unconsciously creates opportunities through awareness. Your mind is not a passive observer. It's a hunter, constantly scanning the environment for signals that match your internal beliefs. Even as you sit still, your subconscious is decoding patterns, the tone of a voice, the hesitation in a sentence, the shift of energy in a room. It notices who looks at you twice, which paths open subtly, which decisions feel off. Most people mistake this quiet intelligence for coincidence, but it's not. It's your brain, an ancient machine designed for survival, trying to help you thrive. The only problem is we've learned to drown it out. We fill every silent second with noise, scrolling, comparison, doubt. And so the very part of us built to detect opportunity goes unheard. Every time you've said, I had a feeling, that was your subconscious mind communicating. But you didn't trust it, did you? Because society teaches you to trust logic over instinct. Even though instinct is logic built from thousands of unspoken observations your brain has already processed. Lucky people don't ignore that quiet signal. They pause. They listen. They understand that intuition isn't magic. It's microdata. It's every time you succeeded, failed, learned, observed, all compiled into a silent algorithm that whispers, go left, not right. And when they act on it, others call it luck. In reality, it's awareness, sharpened by belief and backed by experience. Now think about how your brain behaves under stress. When fear takes over, your focus narrows. You see only threats, not openings. You miss subtle cues because survival mode blocks creativity and perception. Unlucky people often live in this mental tunnel, overanalyzing, doubting, reacting, while opportunities slip to the edges of their vision. Meanwhile, the calm-minded, the ones who breathe before they decide, remain expansive. Their minds are open fields, not lock cages. They notice more, process more, and respond strategically instead of impulsively. That's why calmness isn't weakness. It's command. The Sigma personality knows this. Silence isn't emptiness. It's clarity in disguise. Awareness then becomes a foundation of what most people call being in the right place at the right time. The truth is, they were always in the right place. They just noticed what others didn't. They saw value where others saw noise, timing where others saw coincidence. The greatest minds, from entrepreneurs to leaders to creators, have one thing in common. They trust their awareness more than their fear. They don't chase luck, they align with it. They're observers before they're actors. And when the moment comes, they act with precision that looks almost prophetic. But it's not prophecy. It's preparation meeting awareness. And it looks like luck only to those who never learned to see. But awareness without action is potential energy, waiting to ignite. You can sense the door, you can feel the pull, but it takes courage to walk through it when nothing is guaranteed. That's where the fearless balance of optimism and risk-taking comes in. In the next part, we'll uncover how the truly lucky transform awareness into motion and why they never wait for the right time, they create it. The role of optimism and risk-taking in attracting luck. There's a quiet power in believing things will work out, not because they always do, but because that belief changes how you act before the outcome even arrives. Optimism isn't naive. It's a mindset that programs the brain to search for solutions instead of obstacles. When most people see a dead end, the optimist sees a detour. When others panic, the optimist adapts. That shift in perspective rewires behavior. You move differently, speak differently. Carry yourself with a calm confidence that makes people want to align with you. And that's the secret. Optimism doesn't just attract good energy. It attracts people, and people are the real source of luck. Risk-taking, on the other hand, is optimism's shadow twin, bold, unpredictable, and necessary. No great opportunity ever appeared without risk standing at its door. The difference between the lucky and the stagnant is that the lucky knock anyway. They understand that fear is part of the equation, but so is growth. Every time you step into the unknown, your odds of encountering something life-changing increase. Most people calculate risk as a threat. The Sigma-minded person calculates it as a filter. Risks separate the ones who talk from the ones who move. And luck, more often than not, meets the movers halfway. Here's the paradox most never understand. Luck follows momentum. When you act, even imperfectly, you create a ripple in the system. That motion sends signals to people, places, and possibilities that you exist, that you're ready. Think of it like stirring a calm pond. Suddenly, everything beneath starts moving too. The optimistic risk-taker stirs life deliberately. They don't wait for certainty. They move with trust that whatever happens, they'll learn faster than the rest. The unlucky, meanwhile, are waiting for guarantees, and by the time they get one, the moment is already past. Optimism and risk are not just mental traits. They're frequencies. When combined, they form a magnetic field that bends probability. People sense it, the quiet conviction, the grounded confidence. It's why some people attract mentorship, opportunities, and relationships without chasing them. The world gravitates toward those who believe in their own direction. But belief without courage is fantasy. True optimism demands action. It demands stepping forward when you can't yet see the ground beneath your feet. That's the Sigma way. No noise, no validation. Just calm execution born from quiet self-faith. Because at the end of the day, luck isn't about odds. It's about exposure. You have to be seen by the right chance to receive it. And every risk you take increases that visibility. Every no you face refines your path to the right, yes. Optimism fuels your persistence. Risk converts it into experience. Together, they create what others mistake for good fortune. But it's not luck. It's you positioning yourself where life can finally notice you. But here's where the story turns deeper. What if those lucky breaks we admire aren't random at all, but the final spark of something that's been building for years beneath the surface? In the next part, we'll uncover how preparation, patterns, and timing collide, revealing the hidden architecture behind what the world calls luck. How lucky breaks are hidden patterns of preparation meeting chance. Most people look at success and only see the moment the curtain rises, the applause, the spotlight, the visible break. What they never see are the quiet hours in the shadows, where no one is watching. The lucky break is rarely luck. It's the day when invisible effort finally collides with visible opportunity. Every late night, every unnoticed try, every small act of consistency gathers in silence, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. And when it does, the world gasps and says, they got lucky. But luck is just destiny disguised as discipline finally meeting its chance. The truth is, opportunities don't appear out of nowhere. They orbit around people who are ready for them. Life is constantly offering chances, but most can't hold on to them because they're unprepared to handle the weight. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone get the perfect opportunity, only to fumble it because they weren't mentally or emotionally ready? That's why real luck is never random. It's the byproduct of 1,000 small acts of preparation that no one claps for. The Sigma mindset understands this deeply. Every small step matters, even when no one sees it, especially when no one sees it. Preparation sharpens the eyes. When you worked on your craft long enough, you start noticing details others miss. You recognize potential earlier, respond faster, adapt smoother. What looks like intuition is actually experience, refined and internalized. That's why the most lucky people move with such calm precision. They're not guessing. They've simply done the work so many times that opportunity feels familiar when it appears. Their brains recognize the pattern instantly. For everyone else, it's a surprise. For them, it's recognition. I've seen this before. Luck also thrives on rhythm, the silent alignment between readiness and timing. Timing by itself is nothing. You can meet the right person at the wrong time, have the right idea before the world is ready, or get the perfect job offer before you built the right mindset. But when timing meets readiness, the spark becomes a flame. The Sigma mindset never rushes it. They stay consistent, quietly stacking skills and awareness until their moment arrives. And when it does, they don't panic or overthink. They simply step forward because the moment feels inevitable. That's the secret behind the phrase, overnight success. No one becomes successful overnight. They simply reach the point where preparation finally becomes visible. Behind every lucky artist, businessman, or thinker are years of quiet failure, adjustment, and self-study. Luck, in this sense, is patience rewarded. It's a universe responding to sustained focus. You can't fake that energy. It's something people feel. When you put in the work, opportunities are drawn to you because you move differently. You carry quiet conviction, not desperation. You radiate readiness, not need. Preparation also rewires your emotional stability, and that's where most people fail. When something unexpected happens, unprepared minds panic. They doubt, they freeze, they self-sabotage. The prepared mind, however, stays centered. They rehearse uncertainty so many times that chaos doesn't scare them anymore. They know how to pivot, how to adapt, and that calmness makes people trust them, follow them, invest in them. That's how lucky breaks multiply. Not because the universe favors you, but because humans do. People give chances to those who look like they can handle them. The Sigma personality doesn't chase validation. They chase mastery. And that obsession with getting better, even when no one's watching, creates invisible momentum. Luck loves momentum. It finds the ones who are already in motion, already trying, already adjusting. Because chance by nature gravitates toward movement. Think of it like wind. It doesn't push still objects. It carries those already in flight. The unlucky wait for the wind to blow. The lucky build wings first. And when that break finally comes, when everything you prepare for aligns in one sharp, perfect moment, it doesn't feel like luck. It feels like justice. You don't question it. You don't doubt it. Because every cell in your body recognizes it as something earned. That's why truly lucky people rarely boast about their wins. They know the real story. That luck is simply the visible edge of an invisible mountain they've been climbing for years. But here's what most don't realize. Luck doesn't stay. It visits those who can sustain its weight. And if you're not grounded in preparation, it slips away as fast as it arrived. The world is full of people who caught one lucky break and lost it because they never built the structure to hold it. Preparation isn't just about skill, it's about stability. It's what turns luck from a moment into a momentum, from a spark into a legacy. So the next time you see someone thriving and your mind whispers, they're just lucky, pause. Because what you're really seeing is someone who stayed ready when others stopped trying. Someone who kept their head down long enough for time to notice. Luck is never a gift. It's a mirror, reflecting the level of your preparation back at you. And the question isn't, when will I get my lucky break? It's, when it comes, will I be ready to hold it? But here's the irony. Even with all the preparation, awareness, and optimism, life still tests you. Because not every turn of luck feels good at first. Sometimes, what looks like failure is actually the setup, the redirection that shapes your greatest success. In the next part, we'll explore the psychology of bad luck and how the strongest minds turn losses into leverage, turning bad luck into good. The psychology of resilience and redirection. Luck isn't always gentle. Sometimes it arrives disguised as loss. The job you didn't get, the relationship that fell apart, the opportunity that vanished, all feel like endings in the moment. But the Sigma mind understands something most never do. Not every loss is punishment. Some are corrections. Life redirects you quietly, removing what no longer fits your growth. What looks like bad luck to the impatient is often just life's way of clearing the runway for something bigger. But you'll only see that truth if you stop fighting what's leaving and start trusting what's forming. The difference between the unlucky and the lucky is not what happens to them. It's how they interpret what happens. When something goes wrong, most people internalize it. Why me? They curse timing, doubt themselves, and sink into fear. The Sigma thinker does the opposite. They study the storm. They ask, what is this teaching me? Where is this pushing me? They don't waste energy on blame. They redirect it into understanding. That mindset alone flips the script. What was once an obstacle becomes raw material for growth. Every misstep turns into data. Every failure becomes a map. Here's the brutal truth. Bad luck often comes right before transformation. The breakdown always precedes a breakthrough because discomfort forces clarity. When life denies you something you wanted, it's often preparing to give you something you needed, but only if you endure the in-between. Most people collapse there. They can't stand the uncertainty, the silence, the humiliation of things not working out. But the Sigma personality thrives in that silence. They understand that resilience isn't loud. It's the ability to stay still while rebuilding your inner frame. Resilience isn't about smiling through the pain. It's about processing it consciously. The lucky aren't unshaken. They're self-aware. They allow themselves to feel, but they don't stay stuck. They reframe failure as feedback. That's why they recover faster. They know that bad luck is just information, life's brutal honesty, delivered in disguise. And instead of fearing it, they use it. They mine it for meaning. It's the difference between drowning in chaos and swimming through it. Same water, different mindset. One of life's quietest miracles is hindsight. When you look back on your hardest seasons, you start to see patterns. How one rejection led to an unexpected path. How one ending created space for something entirely new. The Sigma mind lives with that awareness in the present. They don't need hindsight. They live with foresight. Even when the storm hits, they whisper to themselves, "There's something in this for me." That's not delusion. That's mastery over meaning. They refuse to let pain define them. They let it refine them. There's also a kind of discipline in how the strong handle failure. While most people rush to escape discomfort, Sigma minds observe it. They don't numb it with distraction. They sit with it until it reveals its lesson. That's how wisdom is born. Luck may look random, but wisdom is what converts pain into advantage. Every comeback story you admire was built on this process. Someone faced devastation, studied it, and learned how to pivot while everyone else quit. That's not fate. That's strategic resilience. It's knowing that survival is not enough. You have to adapt beautifully. And perhaps the most fascinating truth of all, sometimes bad luck is just bad timing. You weren't ready yet. The world wasn't ready yet. And life, with its quiet intelligence, knew that. The Sigma mind doesn't beg for opportunities. It builds capacity. When a door closes, they don't pound on it. They build the next one. That mindset transforms every disappointment into an investment. Because when you keep growing after failure, the world notices. You become magnetic again, not because luck changed, but because you did. This emotional alchemy, turning loss into fuel, is the rarest skill of all. It's what separates those who break under pressure from those who build empires from rubble. Every so-called failure plants a seed for future fortune. You can't see it now, but beneath the ashes, something is forming. Resilience, perspective, emotional strength. And those are currencies far more valuable than luck. They make you untouchable. They make you earned. So when bad luck strikes, the Sigma doesn't panic. They breathe. They understand a game is bigger than this moment. Every no might be protection. Every ending might be preparation. Every closed path might be the map towards something extraordinary. Their calmness in chaos isn't apathy. It's wisdom. Because they've seen enough to know that life never subtracts without adding later. The formula is just hidden for now. But there's a deeper layer to this philosophy, one most people never explore. Because beyond resilience lies something even greater, the ability to predict and shape luck itself. In the next part, we'll step into the silent realm of mental patterning, where thought, focus, and energy don't just respond to luck, they attract it. The psychology behind lucky people, mindset versus coincidence. Have you ever noticed how some people walk through life as if the universe secretly favors them? Everything seems to fall into place for them. Jobs, relationships, timing, as though the world bends slightly in their direction. You might call it fate, destiny, or sheer good fortune, but in truth, it's something deeper. It's a pattern, a psychological rhythm that separates those who get lucky from those who stay stuck, waiting for a break that never comes. The truth is harsh but liberating. Luck isn't random. It's recognized. And only those tuned to see it ever experience it. Lucky people don't just stumble into good situations. They notice them. Where most people see coincidence, the lucky see opportunity. Where others sense risk, they sense reward. This mindset shift begins with a simple belief. Something good is always around the corner. That belief isn't blind optimism. It's a filter. It makes the brain more receptive to possibilities. Studies show that people who consider themselves lucky are more likely to spot chance opportunities because their minds are open, relaxed, and alert. Unlucky people, on the other hand, are often tense, cautious, and so focused on avoiding failure that they miss the open door right in front of them. This psychological difference creates a chain reaction. A confident mind leads to confident actions, and confident actions draw better responses from the world. Think about it. When someone walks into a room with calm assurance, they naturally attract attention. They seem trustworthy, capable, magnetic. That energy makes people want to collaborate, help, and offer chances, not because of luck, but because of presence. Luck, in many ways, is simply the world's response to how you show up. Sigma individuals understand this. They don't chase luck. They become the kind of person luck notices. But there's a secret layer most people ignore: awareness. The mind is constantly scanning the environment, processing signals, patterns, faces, and micro-opportunities. Those who trust their instincts and remain open-minded catch these cues faster than others. The so-called lucky breaks are often just fast reactions to fleeting chances. A conversation overheard, an email sent at the right time, a risk taken when everyone else hesitated. What separates the lucky from the unlucky isn't magic. It's readiness. It's seeing what others dismiss as noise and turning it into a signal. And yet, behind that confidence lies something even more powerful: emotional balance. Lucky people don't dwell on setbacks for long. When things go wrong, they don't say, "Why me?" They say, "What's next?" This mindset keeps their emotional energy clean, unpolluted by bitterness or fear. That emotional resilience pulls them forward, while others stay stuck in regret. It's why, when one door closes, they're already standing at the next one. Their faith in possibility keeps them moving until the odds eventually align in their favor. That's not luck. That's persistence disguised as fortune. What most people call bad luck often comes from a cycle of self-sabotage, doubting themselves, hesitating, overanalyzing, or quitting too soon. Lucky people break that cycle by acting before their fear grows loud enough to stop them. They understand that the universe rewards movement, not waiting. Even if the result isn't perfect, movement generates momentum, and momentum attracts opportunities that stillness never will. The Sigma mind operates on that law. Stay calm, stay focused, stay in motion, because the moment you stop, your chances disappear. This is why the law of attraction isn't about wishful thinking. It's about mental positioning. When your belief, emotion, and actions align toward a goal, you unconsciously create the conditions that invite it. That's why some people seem effortlessly blessed. They're simply synchronized with the energy of opportunity. They don't wait for the universe to give. They're constantly offering signals that they're ready to receive. Every decision, every risk, every moment of faith sends that message louder. Still, the question remains: can you actually train yourself to become lucky? Absolutely. But it begins with self-awareness. You have to recognize the invisible barriers, your doubts, fears, limiting beliefs that block your perception of opportunity. Most people live in a fog of mental noise, blind to the possibilities surrounding them every single day. The lucky ones have simply learned how to clear that fog. They live intentionally, pay attention, and act decisively when the moment calls. And this leads to a fascinating truth. Your brain is already built to create luck. It's wired with a radar, a subconscious mechanism constantly scanning for patterns, coincidences, and hidden chances. But most people never learn to use it. They silence it with doubt, fear, and routine. The Sigma mind, however, knows how to stay still enough to hear it. That subtle whisper of intuition that says, now, go, this is it. Because what if I told you that luck isn't something you chase? It's something your mind attracts through awareness. In the next part, we'll uncover how your subconscious acts as your personal luck detector and how you can train it to spot hidden opportunities before anyone else even realizes they exist. Luck isn't the sparkle of chance. It's the shadow of consistency. The ones who seem blessed by fortune are the ones who showed up when no one was watching. They didn't wait for the universe to give them a sign. They moved, even when it was dark. Every quiet effort, every unseen risk, every late-night decision built a stage for their lucky moment. When opportunity arrived, they weren't surprised. They were ready. To outsiders, it looked like fate, but to them, it was a natural outcome of never stopping. The truth is, life is always whispering. It drops hints, signals, small openings that most people scroll past because they're too busy waiting for something dramatic. But the ones who win, they listen differently. They trust their instincts, act on subtle patterns, and follow the soft pull of curiosity instead of fear. That's what people call luck, alignment between readiness and timing. When your internal rhythm syncs with life's external chaos, things begin to fall into place, not by magic, but by awareness. But awareness alone isn't enough. You can recognize an opening and still lose it if you're too scared to leap. That's where courage steps in, not the loud, reckless kind, but a quiet confidence that says, even if I fail, I'll still grow. Lucky people aren't fearless. They're just unafraid of movement. They see uncertainty not as danger, but as potential. Every step into the unknown increases the odds of a breakthrough. They don't need proof before they act. Their faith is their proof. And that faith transforms how they respond to failure. Because luck isn't linear, it's a cycle. Sometimes it gives, sometimes it tests. The unlucky see setbacks as punishment. The lucky see them as correction. They extract lessons from pain, recalibrate, and step again, sharper, wiser, calmer. With each loss, they multiply their future odds of winning. The world sees resilience. They see preparation. And that's how fortune keeps circling back, drawn to those who refuse to sink. In the end, what we call luck is the world's reflection of your inner order. The calmer you are, the clearer your decisions. The clearer your mind, the stronger your timing. And when timing meets readiness, life starts to cooperate in strange, beautiful ways. People will call you lucky, as if the universe chose you randomly. But deep down, you'll know it wasn't chance. It was design. A design you built in silence, one decision at a time, until destiny had no choice but to notice you. And so, when the world looks at you and says, "You're lucky," let them. They'll never understand the weight of the nights you doubted yourself, the times you showed up with nothing but grit, or the silence you walked through when no one believed in your path. They'll only see the shine, not the storms that shaped it. But that's what makes it beautiful. Luck isn't found in noise. It's born in the stillness of self-belief, in the refusal to break when no one is watching. Because the truth is, luck doesn't belong to the chosen few. It belongs to those who keep walking, even when the path disappears. To those who stay calm in chaos, patient in delay, and grounded in purpose, every step, every fall, every rise, it's all part of a quiet equation that turns effort into alignment. You don't chase luck. You build the conditions where it has to find you. And one day, when everything suddenly begins to work, when the right person calls, the right door opens, the right moment unfolds, it won't be a miracle. It will be the world finally catching up to the rhythm you've been moving in all along. That's the real science of luck, not randomness, not chance, but resonance. And once you learn to live in that frequency, you stop waiting for things to happen. You become the reason they do.